After nearly 8 weeks, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has finally released the September jobs report. 119,000 jobs added to the economy. The unemployment rate goes up, just a tad, 4.4%. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer joins me now. Madam Secretary, welcome back. Good to see you. The jobs report, a little stronger than expected. Can we trust the numbers after the government shutdown?
Actually, almost double what we expected. And so this is a solid report for the American people, solid report for job growth. This is exactly why we needed to open up the government so we could release the data that was collected in September, which was almost ready to go, and when the government shut down. So yes, we need to make sure we're keeping a snapshot in time. This is a solid report. Again, we're seeing job growth, more people wanting to work, participate in the labor force. I think these are good numbers.
Madam Secretary, there's a new study, and it comes from the Fed, and it says slower immigration and rising deportations could shrink the future workforce. So does that mean that the immigration crackdown could be hurting the economy?
Well, 119,000 jobs online this month. What we have seen since President Trump took office is almost 2 million jobs going to native-born Americans. I think that's the exciting part of this. 97,000 of the new jobs that were reported were in the private sector. You know, we have to make sure that we're reading the data points correctly. I think what we're seeing is solid for the American worker. And as I continue to go around the country and build upon the skilled workforce, we're going to see more and more Americans have these jobs. So I think it's a solid report. We wanted a secure border. We have that now under this president, and now more Americans are taking on these jobs.
Is manufacturing coming back the way the president wants it to come back?
Well, we saw about 20,000 construction jobs, which was solid. We know the manufacturing numbers have not been exactly where we want them to be. But I can tell you, Stuart, I think that's going to take some time because of the investments that the president has done with a lot of these companies, as well as, you know, the trade deals that he has made, the investments, $18 trillion coming into this country. I think what we're going to see in the future is these definitely manufacturing jobs come online. We're seeing that with our data centers. We're seeing that with the traded sector. We need more electricians. I have been working tirelessly with companies around the country to make sure that we can have the men and women who build this country have the jobs that they want. You know, again, people are wanting to work, and that's the exciting part of this report. And we're going to continue to bring down that unemployment rate for these reasons.
Which region, or regions plural, of the country show the best job growth?
We saw construction jobs go up, definitely. And again, I think that's for the work that's been done with this administration that the president has said has been the focus. Energy prices are down. We're seeing permitting reform change, and that's why you're seeing construction jobs come online much quicker. And now, again, the manufacturing will follow in that sector. We've seen healthcare numbers go up as well. But again, I think the important part of this is that we're seeing it's the private sector jobs, not like the Biden administration where we saw them all to be, government jobs.
Private sector's doing okay. Good news. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer.
Absolutely, they're doing okay.
Thanks for being with us. Always appreciate it. See you again soon.